better get up in here. Are y'all home yet? We are in the living room. I am back off of a vacation. Thank you, Mr. Jordan, for letting me take that vacation. I'm all refreshed, and I'm acting up in the living room.
So good to have you back. Don't know what we did. In fact, I do know what we did. We had about 20 people in here, and everybody say something that Kathy would say, and say something Kathy would say. But we got through it, though.
I know you did.
But we're so glad you got a chance to get away and get rejuvenated, and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Hey, cousins, y'all better get up in here in this living room session. It's going to be good today. Oh, my goodness. So I'm Kathy Thomas. I'm the Chief Housing Officer at the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, and I get to do this with my boss, the big man, Mr. Louis Jordan. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Just trying to create some footprints for someone to follow.
Big feet, though, dude. We struggling to keep up, but we doing it.
I know, exactly.
We doing it. We got the right folks up in here today. I'm actually excited about the show.
You know, one of the cool things about when we come on is that we get to hear the show before ours.
Yes.
And that was a pretty powerful show today.
Yeah, it was. Good stuff.
Yeah, some good legendary people from the community, from the country.
Yeah.
And it just all aligns, and you know, I would be remiss if I didn't say a shout out to 88.1 for keeping the community informed.
I love that. that. This is legacy building work we're doing here.
Absolutely.
So we're informing in the moment, but building the legacy for the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir, for always lifting that up. Speaking of building for the future, our first guest today is the man. So I get it, all the tall people are in here today. I don't know. I should have worn my big heels because Mr. Maurice Page is here with us today. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing incredible. Thank you for having me in today. I appreciate it.
Because you've been doing some heavy lifting with the Nevada Housing Coalition.
Absolutely. We have.
So for our listeners who are not familiar with the Nevada Housing Coalition, tell us what that is and what you do there.
Absolutely. So the Nevada Housing Coalition, we are a statewide 501c3 coalition-based organization, and what we strive to do is to promote affordable and preservation housing throughout the state. And so our organization was developed about 7 years ago, and Mr. Jordan, your predecessor in the rural communities, Bill Brewer, who was the executive director, he had this vision back in 2012 after the housing recession, and he saw that, you know, development was coming to a halt in regards to low-income housing, and he wanted to make a change. And so it took him a few years, but he was able to get some like-minded individuals to the table. We was able to establish the coalition, and since then, we have actually brought in roughly almost $600 million towards affordable housing. And so by the end of 2026, we will have created about 3,400 new units statewide.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, we are in there. We're avid. We're doing a lot of advocacy. We're doing a lot of collaboration. We're educating the community. And so, you know, that is our mission and that is our goal.
That's awesome. So I think actually I usually call folks my cousin when they visit, but because you're married to my sorority sister, you're going to be my brother-in-law today.
Yes, indeed.
All right, brother-in-law. You talked about advocacy. We just wrapped up our biennial legislative session.
Yes.
What was the biggest takeaway? Like, what does the community need to know? Because some of that work is going to impact us right here in the community, on the Historic West Side in particular. So what were some of the big takeaways from this last legislative session? And tell us how the coalition helped push that agenda.
Absolutely. So let me just kind of give you a high-level overview of where housing was as far as a subject matter during this past legislation session. Number one, we know that 1,200 bills were brought forth, bill draft requests, right? BDRs is what we call them. Out of those 1,200, 63 was represented as housing bills. Let me tell you why that number in particular is really monumental. 10 years ago, 2015, we literally had about 3 to 5 housing bills.
Wow.
Okay. By 2019, we probably had about 10, and that's when we instituted the state tax credit program. So now, 2025, we have 63 housing bills that went towards not only development, preservation, supportive housing services, tenant rights, zoning, land development. we are now looking at the full gamut, and our leaders, our legislative leaders, are now prioritizing trying to get housing for all Nevadans throughout the state. And out of those 63 housing bills, we had about a 40% success rate.
Okay.
And so to have, 26, 27 bills to get passed for our state means that we're gaining momentum. We still have a long way to go as far as where we need to be, but we're now starting to, take that next step and really start looking at how we can develop housing and develop infrastructure, right? That's the main thing. Develop infrastructure so that this way we can continue to build out. And so some of the major key bills that were brought forth was, number one, you had Assembly Bill 366 that provided a permanent funding source for supportive housing development. So when you think of supportive housing, what is that? What does that mean? That is the case management. That is the mental health. That is the behavioral health. That is the workforce. That is, providing funding for education for folks to go back to school. That is monies that is now going to be coming out of our general fund, right? Permanently going forward. And so that money, and it will be a percentage. So we don't know. This year it was $21 million that has been allocated. Next year it could be 20 million. It could be 30 million. It just depends on where our budget falls. But that was huge because now we have a permanent fixture. In 2023, we actually created the bill, which was a one-time appropriation at the time of $32.2 million that went into our community statewide. And so now that we were able to come back and the coalition worked very furiously and closely with Assemblymember Danielle Monroe Moreno, who was the advocate behind that and pushed for that. We was able to get the governor to understand that this is something that is extremely important. And so with her help, as well as the Corporation of Supportive Housing, who also contributed to creating this bill, we were able to get this permanent fixture, which will be huge.
Yeah.
The other bill, go ahead.
I want to jump over because Mr. Jordan has been a part of, we went up to testify for some of these bills, but
Absolutely.
Recently
Yes.
You were here in Southern Nevada with Governor Lombardo, and we
signed AB 540.
Yeah.
And also wanted to mention that as we talk about the table, it's so refreshing to see more people at the table. I had an opportunity I've worked from a distance, if you will, with Maurice. I'd like to say I'm glad that I was selected to sit on the coalition's board recently.
Absolutely.
So that that'll make the partnership that much stronger. But again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is all of our work.
Yes.
Oftentimes I've done this for, 20 plus years, and what's the housing authority or it's the homeless advocates. No, we all need to share in this opportunity to find housing available for, for those who need it. And as you mentioned a few weeks ago, the historic AB 540 attainable housing bill that was passed, I had an opportunity to not only testify, but be at a ceremonious signing that the governor did. And we're looking for ways in which we can make sure we fit into that process. Because normally when people talk about affordable housing or just housing in general, we tend to put people in a box.
Yeah.
Yes,
affordable housing is anybody that can, when you talk about what is affordable housing, it's housing you can afford.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
basic.
Yeah.
So what's so significant about AB 540, Maurice?
Definitely. Well, it's historic, and I definitely got to tip my cap to the governor for understanding that housing is a priority. Again, during the legislative session, myself and my organization had a couple of opportunities to sit down with him and talk to him about housing and the importance of it. And he made sure to let us understand that housing is a top priority of his going forward. Along with education and our health care, as well. And so, the biggest thing around Assembly Bill 540 is that this will be able to provide more attainable single-family homes throughout the state. So what does that necessarily mean? We know that Statewide, the average cost of a home right now is roughly in between $450 to $465, depending on the week, the day, whatever the case may be.
$465,000.
$460. So even to give you a little bit, if you dive deeper into that, in northern Nevada, Reno, Washoe, and your rurals, you're looking at about $485. Mm-hmm. In southern Nevada, we're probably at about $440, $450, again, depending on the day. And so, you know, and I've been in this state, you know, I've lived in southern Nevada for a little over almost 25 years now. And so when, you know, you came here during early 2000s, you was able to get that starter home, right? That was $100,000, maybe even $80,000. And now those starter homes are now going for $400,000.
That's amazing.
Right? And so that's where we have just grown. You know, somebody had mentioned it's the new Vegas. It's the new norm. Mm-hmm. And so what 540, the importance of 540 will be is that we're going to try to reduce the cost of housing, bring in more starter type homes. So you're looking at condos, townhomes, duplexes, triplexes, anywhere between 900 to 1,200 square feet, that can fit a small family, that is who's trying to start out. You know, be able to work with our seniors that are retiring. We have our baby boomers who are, you know, aging out of the workforce. And so you need to have those folks who are living off their retirement. They're looking to downsize. Maybe they don't want an apartment, but they still want something that they can own and build equity with. So with 540, that's going to be able to reduce the cost. We're looking at $300 to $350, maybe $380,000 for these homes. And also on top of that, we added another tier to the AMI. So we're stretching it all the way up to 150% area median income. So average income in Nevada is roughly at about $67,000 a year. That's your essential workers. And so adding that, extra tier of 150, now we're able to get them approved up to, $100,000. And so with that, now they're able to, be able to get approved for housing. Their down payment assistance won't be as much, and they'll be able to start their path of creating generational wealth for their family. One of the hiccups that, you know, the governor recognizes that our young folks nowadays who are coming out of college, who are starting their careers, they don't have the desire to build a home or purchase a home because of the cost that goes into it. You know, you're going to become cost burden. We're looking to reduce the costs, of homes, reduce the costs that individuals will be able to be, so that they're able to go out and do other activities such as travel, such as, you know, have a great time and not have to worry about where their next meal, or if I have a flat tire, what's going to happen.
Yeah. So Maurice, for folks in the community who want to kind of keep up with the work you're doing, kind of track the impact of what came out of this legislative session, how do they get in contact with you? How do they get to your website?
Absolutely. So our website is nvhousingcoalition.org. And so if you go there, you can become a member. We do have membership rates. But we do so many activities throughout the year. We have a monthly newsletter. We also do monthly lunch and learns. And so 9 months out the year, every fourth Wednesday at noon, we bring in a different topic, all based around affordable housing. And so it's a way to educate our community about, you know, the ongoings of what's happening, and how they can get more involved and who are the players within the system. One thing that I'm super proud about the coalition is the fact that we have over 350 members representing 200 organizations statewide. And so, you know, to be able to have the realtors, to be able to have your tenant organizations, the housing authorities, you know, Nevada Energy, and other organizations, we have the folks that we can bring to the table to talk solutions. And that's where we need to be at.
Yes, solutions. Absolutely. One of Mr. Jordan's favorite words. Give your website one more time before you leave, Maurice.
Yes, nvhousingcoalition.org.
Thank you.
Also, before you leave, you got a big event coming up soon.
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about that event real quick.
Yes, just real quickly. Our 6th annual Affordable Housing Conference is happening at the Circa Hotel and Casino. We bring together close to 350, 400 people across the state and across the country. You know, Nevada, again, I stated this earlier, we're so far behind, but yet we have done so much and we have made so much impact with the monies and the resources that we have had that we have also become a best practice. And so folks wanting to learn and wanting to get to know what's going on and how we're doing it and at the rate that we're doing it. And so we bring in all the folks that is involved with housing, and we talk about the issues at hand. We talk about policy. We talk about where the future is going to be heading when we talk about affordable housing. So the dates are October 15th and 16th at the Circle Hotel and Casino. Please visit our website, nvhousingcoalition.org, for more information.
And I encourage the listeners to get out there and go.
Absolutely.
Having attended the last couple years, it's just a room of information.
Yes.
And you'd be amazed, oftentimes when we talk about affordable housing, as I said earlier, it's the housing authority.
Mm-hmm.
The table is so much larger, and Maurice and his team they've done an amazing job of bringing people to the table. So you all don't miss that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good event. We're going to be there. We hope to see you there as well.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, brother-in-law. We're glad you swung through today. You gotta
to the Reds.
You got to come back to the living room sessions. We're so glad to have you here, and thank you so much. All right. Now, I know I'm going to give the phone number because I think we're going to have some call-ins because our next guests are the people that everybody wants to talk to. Right? So if you want to call in and ask a question, the number is 702-647-3688. 702-647-3688. And guess who we have here with us today, Mr. Jordan? This is your biggest department, right?
That's right.
Hello. We have our housing choice voucher, what most folks would call Section 8. We got our eligibility team, and we got our family self-sufficiency team all in the house at the same time. I'm hyped. I don't know if y'all hyped, but I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
I know you are.
So very hyped.
Hey, Rosa Elaine Garcia, I'm going to start with you and let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And then we're just kind of popcorn around the table.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone. I want to say hello to all the listeners, especially those landlords that partner with us and collaborate. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. And I also wanted to say hello to our participants that are listening. Just wanted to want them to know that it's an honor for us to be able to serve them and help them with their rental assistance administration on their behalf. So at Housing Choice Voucher, formerly known as Section A, what we do is rental assistance administration. We provide subsidies for participants that are in our program. We do have a waiting list, and we are hoping that this is like a stepping stone for families to be able to achieve their goals for their families, for their children, and become self-sufficient.
Good. So I don't know where to popcorn, to the waiting list or self-sufficiency. DeWanda, you go next.
Lady first. Okay, fine. Hi, I am DeWanda Campbell, and I am the eligibility manager. And my department solely just manages all of the many wait lists that we have at the Housing Authority. I know there's going to be lots of questions, and I am prepared to give all the information I can. I just appreciate this opportunity. Because, again, we know there's a lot of myths. There's a lot of he say, she say, and everyone else's version of how this waitlist situation happens. So I am here to kind of answer your questions, and I appreciate the fact that we can get this information out there.
Cool. Before we get to calls, Aldo, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Aldo Lopez Linares. I am the Resident Program Coordinator for the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. I supervise the Supportive Services Department, but I'm here representing the Family Self-Sufficiency Program.
Okay, look, we already got calls coming in, y'all. I knew we would. We're going to take our first call before we dive a little more deeper into each of these programs. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, is it me? Oh, it is. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm in tears right now because I had some errands that were going on, and I went down to the Social Security office because I was denied and I couldn't see anybody because I didn't have an appointment. But I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. I beat the cancer, and everyone let me go after that, after my double mastectomy. and being without a job for over a year and battling this cancer alone, I don't have any other resources. I've tried everything, and there's no CHAPS, there's no Social Security, there's no disability for me, there's nothing. And I'm literally trying to heal to get my self-sufficiency back, which I supposedly start a job in October, but I have to get through the reconstruction and the end of my breast cancer journey.
Yeah.
What do a person like me do?
You know, caller, thank you for sharing your story, because it's brave, first of all, to share your story and the struggle and the hardship. And oftentimes these are the neighbors, the constituents, the citizens that we don't have an easy answer for, right, Rose Lane? We're not emergency housing.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how Section 8 works, and then we'll talk about the waiting list with DeWanda. Thanks so much, caller.
But caller, leave your number offline. One of the things that I've come to learn is that while we at the Housing Authority may not have the answer,
right,
we are a very resource-rich community. So leave your number. Someone will get back to you.
That's right.
And give you some, in fact, I'll go saying, Louis, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he'll just help you understand the different avenues you might want to take to find some support. And as Kathy said, we appreciate your courage, and our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Jordan. We are able to probably refer them to some resources that are there in the community. So, our housing choice voucher, how it works, Kathy, we do have a waiting list, and it's a very extensive waiting list. And once we have vouchers available, then we reach out to the waiting list and have participants come to a briefing so we can tell them about the program. I have to say that right now we have projects coming up, almost like 10 projects coming up, and there will be about 600 vouchers available through these projects. So be alert, because we'll be probably opening wait lists for those particular projects, and so people will be able to place their names on those projects wait list.
Thanks. Talk to us, DeWanda, about the waiting list, right? Eligibility handles those, and there are a couple dozen at least, right?
A couple dozen. Well, yes. So for the waiting list, we have multiple waiting lists. So for public housing, there's a waiting list that pretty much caters to all of the public housing properties. I think about somewhere between 19, 20. It keeps changing because Mr. Jordan here keeps acquiring new properties for us.
That's right.
So it's a lot going on in the Housing Authority. But so with the public housing, we have somewhere between 19 and 22 properties that we manage. And it's great because it's one waiting list for all properties. But then we have affordable, which has the HCV, the Section 8 waiting list. And then we also have a waiting list for each one of our project-based voucher properties, and that's about 24 properties, so it's multiple lists. So I know a lot of the questions are, why does it take so long? Why am I on the list for so long? For the most part, the demand just exceeds the availability. So as much as we have properties all over Nevada, good for us is that we don't have that many vacancies.
Right.
Because once people get into housing, they don't leave. It's amazing. We have so many opportunities. We have FSS. We have Section 8. You can go from different so there's so many opportunities once you're in. People don't leave. So, which is why the waiting list is always so long, because, we have about 32,000 people on the waiting list, but right now we may have less than 100 actual vacant units.
Right.
So that's our struggle.
It is
to
a
house
struggle.
Everyone. Because everyone needs affordable housing. Everyone wants affordable housing. So
that's right.
To get everyone in is just an impossibility. So we have lists that we just have to wait until something happens.
Gotcha.
And it's the one that said that's a double-edged sword, because we have the units. We're trying to bring on more units. Although talk about things that we do to get people to leave, which we've become so much more assertive at over the last few years. We talk about our Family Self-Sufficiency program, but it's a unique position to be in, and in addition to the, close to 5,000 units that we manage and own, I'm grateful for our partnership with our landlords. Mm-hmm. We have over 3,000 landlords.
That's right.
They house close to 13,000 of our voucher holders, and shout out to the landlord population. Latoya Lewis, who's been here before. She's been in the living room with us. Mm-hmm. All of these creative things we're trying to do are so important. I read somewhere that, Maurice, you probably can tell us this. If for the people who meet the definition of affordable housing, we're like 90,000 units short here. 80,000 units short. And as you know, and the likelihood of us building out of this right now isn't likely, but we need to do everything we can while we can.
Yeah. Aldo, we're going to drop over into your lap. Thanks for being in the living room with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to us about the Family Self-Sufficiency Program and the resources that you bring to residents who live in housing.
So the Family Self-Sufficiency Program is an employment and earnings program with the goal of finding a suitable level of employment for long-term success and becoming less dependent on assistance of any kind. In order to graduate from the program, you do have to be suitably employed, and that varies from person to person. It just depends on what their long-term goals are, what their household composition looks like, and completely off of TANF cash assistance at the moment that they graduate. So we provide intensive case management, and when I say intensive case management, we get to know them on a very intimate level. We meet with them once a month when they first enroll for 3 months. After that, it's every 3 months, unless they feel that they need to be seen more. We meet with them. Our meetings can run anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on what's going on in their lives. And we help provide them with the proper guidance and support that they need to accomplish whatever goals they're looking to accomplish.
I love that. Look, before we get to my station break, I'm going to take this caller. I heard my forever commissioner was on the line, Mr. Lawrence Weekly, Dr. Lawrence Weekly.
Come on, Ms. Gibson, don't do me like that. Now, how you doing this morning? Good morning.
I'm fabulous. So glad to hear you. What's going on, friend?
Listen, I typically don't call into other talk shows, but I'm so elated this morning that I would be so remiss if I did not take the time out of my schedule and to take up a little bit of your time, if you don't mind. Me thanking, first of all, our executive director, Louis Jordan.
Yes.
Words cannot express my gratitude to this gentleman here. I just think that, this man here, he came to Las Vegas. He came at a time to the Housing Authority when we desperately needed a voice of reason. We needed someone that had sense and someone who really and truly care about the people.
Yes.
Mr. Jordan, thank you, man, for just being so transparent. You have real boots on the ground out there in the community. Nothing is perfect, and no one's perfect. I'm sure we can get 100 people that call in and say all their concerns about the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. I tell you, I have seen so many lives change. I've seen a positive vibe. I've seen a whole positive turnaround with the leadership and what you all are doing over there. And I just want to thank you, Kathy, because I've worked with you for so many years, and I've seen you from the city of Las Vegas, city of North Las Vegas, now to the Housing Authority. You've been a blessing in this community for a long time. Uh-oh.
Yeah, they doing the Sandman on me, and they playing you out.
Tell
OT
don't ever do that. That's not a good thing. But listen, thank you so much, Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. We love you guys, and keep up the good work.
And Doc, thank you so much. And as I always say, iron sharpens iron, my friend.
Thank you. All right, we good.
We are 88.1 FM Las Vegas, owned and operated by the Economic Opportunity Board of Clark County, broadcasting in HD1. We've been the People Station for 50 years and counting. Thank you, Las Vegas. We are Power 88, the People Station.
Yes, and we are back in the living room for this living room session. I'm so glad that my peers are here to talk about this is where the rubber meets the road for the Housing Authority, right? Like, we build stuff, we rehabilitate stuff, we do a lot of things. People never see it, they don't experience it until you all touch their lives, right? Until they move into some housing, get some services, and start on that pathway. So what's the most important thing, DeWanda, you think folks need to remember, especially as they are applying and getting their names on a waiting list?
Well, as far as the waiting list, please remember, putting yourself on the waiting list does not guarantee housing.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but it's true. You have to qualify. You have to be eligible. And we go by HUD guidelines, local guidelines or policies. And most importantly, unfortunately, it's not emergency. So it's not dictated by your situation. It's, by date and time and preference. So you got on and your sister got on, y'all got in within 2 days, and all of a sudden she's being housed and it's 2 years later and it's not you. There's a legitimate reason behind it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't happen right away. Because like we said, we have 32,000 people that's out there trying to get affordable housing, and we have less than 100, as my last report, less than 100 units that's available. So this time next year, we're going to have 31,000.
Right.
We may have housed several hundred, but we're still at 30, so it's a continuous process. But I tell people, get on your list when we're open, check our websites, find out and check the newspapers, because we go public when we do open those waiting lists. But it can't be your all. Like, don't put all of your eggs in a basket. Like, I'm on a list, so I'm just going to wait for housing and I'm not doing anything else. Please
and it's
keep
important.
That in mind.
It's important that people keep their contact information updated too, right? So when the list opens up and you do a blast, if I change my email or I don't check my email, I won't know that list has opened up.
And it is unfortunate because a lot of people are withdrawn, because when we reach out, we're trying to go completely paperless. So unfortunate that is for our seniors, who's not accustomed to checking their emails on a regular basis. We try to put that information out as in multiple ways, but you have to keep us updated. We don't know that you moved, and I know people are getting evicted, or you're moving, or you're starting school or leaving school, and you have jobs and things change, and the last thing on your mind is, I need to contact the housing authority, the list I've been on for 2 years. It doesn't happen automatically, but just keep that in mind. As if it's come to your housing, keep us updated, because we don't know what's going on with your life.
Right.
And we're information out.
We're trying to leverage technology to make sure that we can keep up with everyone. I would think that if we had my call center manager in here, she would say that the number one call we get is, where am I on the wait list?
Where am I on the waiting list?
And so to Wanda's point, we need to make sure that you keep your information updated, and we're working feverishly on our customer service.
Absolutely.
To make sure that when people call in, they can follow a prompt and it'll tell you. But as you mentioned at the onset of your presentation, circumstances will change where you are, and people need to be understanding of that. So that's critically important.
Indeed.
And Mr. Judge, we have a portal where people can access and see where they are on the waiting list.
Give us that website, please, and the portal. How do I get into a portal?
Go to Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority.org, SNRHA.org, where they can have access. And it's important that they keep their email, because that's how they can access to their portal and then get their information.
All right, so snvrha.org, and then I can sort of, in effect, set up an account where I can check on what's going on with my applications. Okay.
Yes, definitely. So not only your email, but also give us, because we not only try by email, but if there's a phone number that is associated with that, we would try to call as well.
So keep all that information up to date every time it changes. Important. Okay. Yes. So Aldo, so Miss Rosa just said there are 13,000 folks with a voucher. Are you working with 13,000 folks?
We are not.
Oh, okay. But what's going on?
Unfortunately, no, Kathy.
Like, that's a lot of people.
So we have 9 coordinators, and we are to have about 500 individuals enrolled in our FSS program.
Okay. Talk more about FSS. What do the letters stand for, and what kind of unique things are y'all doing when you work with families?
Okay. It stands for Family Self-Sufficiency. And unique, like I said earlier, we work very closely with these individuals to get to know them. So I know when you reach out to another community agency, you might get a caseworker that you only speak to about 15 minutes. we dedicate an hour, 2 hours more over the course of a 5-year time frame. And we really get to know these individuals. We get to know what is going on, what are some of the barriers that they've been experiencing, what are some of the traumas that they've experienced in the past, and we put them in touch with the right people in our community, like Just One Project or Nevada Workforce Connections, to help get them to that next level, whether it be into education, training, to help get them a career, not just a job, but a career. Or we work with them directly to learn to budget, build a savings, address their credit. We are all certified HUD housing counselors as well, so we work with them if they're interested in becoming homeowners and they're in a qualifying program. We work very closely with them to help them understand their credit, understand their budgeting, understand their career, and what options they have in terms of possibly purchasing a home in the future.
And I know, Mr. Jordan, it has been really important to you that we really support residents achieving home ownership. And I don't think a lot of folks know that a Section 8 voucher holder can use that voucher as part of their home ownership journey.
Absolutely. You know, I like to call the FSS program our effort of moving people from where they are to where they want to be.
Yeah.
Because it's going to look differently. As you mentioned, you can use the voucher, but the win for me is to have our team engage with someone who may not have had successes in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And the culmination is our FSS graduation that we do every year, where we bring these individuals together. And as Aldo said earlier, there's this earned income piece, right? So while you're in the program 5-7 years, you're paying rent, and we're putting a portion of your rent in escrow.
Mm-hmm.
And when you complete your goals, or quote unquote graduate, you get that money back.
Right.
And probably the highlight of my career is standing there with that big lottery type check.
Yes.
I think last year was over $400,000.
It was. I think
that
it was
we
like
gave back.
$456,000.
$456,000 that they had earned.
That they got back. Yeah.
And about 40 people or so graduated. And so, and not only for the individuals, but for me, as they had their family members at the graduation, their children. So just shout out to the whole team. We talk about 4 things at the Housing Authority all the time: creating more housing, customer service, creating opportunity for residents, in which this falls under, and then making sure that I clearly have the most educated, hyped up, excited employee group that I could imagine. And having that group allows us to do some of the great things that these teams are talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead, Ms. Rosa.
I think that one of the greatest achievements for the Section 8 voucher is when we attend those graduations and we see one former voucher holder is now a homeowner.
Yes.
And that's probably one of the, greatest achievements for ours.
What I loved is when I came and an FSS graduate had donated to help underwrite the event, and she helps underwrite the holiday event. So she left, became so successful with her own business, and owning her own home, that she comes back every year and writes a check to support other residents.
That's wonderful.
To achieve their dreams. And I'm like, man, I'm proud. I didn't even know her until I met her at the FSS graduation. But to meet her, and she's real quiet about it. Like, she's not, don't tell anybody that I did it, but I want to tell everybody that she did it, because it's such an achievement for a mom, single mom. A lot of us have that story, right? That
Absolutely.
we got it out the mud, and that's not how she's living anymore. She's doing so well with her own business that she donates so that other program participants
pay it forward.
Yeah, she's paying it forward. It's an awesome kind of thing. Tell me about the other kind of events, Aldo, because I have been to a lot of events in a year and a half, and I leave crying because they are moving. They are. It shows the kind of transformation that's happening with supportive services. So, talk about my favorite is for the senior citizens, the celebration
of aging.
Okay, so first tell us when the graduation is for FSS, and then tell us about celebration.
Our FSS graduation is October 23rd. It is by invite only.
Yeah.
We have this year 39 graduates.
Nice.
That's as of last week, so that might change.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Mr. Jordan wants to hear the total for escrows right now, or would you prefer
Do you
the
want
day
to be
of?
surprised?
No, let's tell the world.
Let's tell everybody.
Tell the world. Yeah.
As of Thursday of last week, it's been an escrow payout of $472,115.
Wow.
Outstanding.
Bravo.
And just to be clear, these are dollars that these individuals have earned through working.
That's
That
right.
they'll be gifted back to go ahead and do whatever it is. Buy a home, down payment on a home, car, further education, whatever it is.
Start that business.
Start that business.
I love it.
Yeah. I wish we had some shout out music or something.
I know. Some horns. I can't get no party horns back there. Some applause. I don't know. Okay. I guess not.
So that's happening October 23rd, but we do have our celebration of aging, which is for our senior properties. The sign-ups have already ended. We have over 200 senior residents participating. We have a DJ. We have community partners coming in, doing vending booth, providing information. The mayor will be speaking and providing grand prize. But it's a big event, and to see our senior residents come out and dance like they've never danced before is an amazing sight.
It is amazing, and staff, we get to serve
Absolutely.
our seniors. It's really a way to honor folks who have given a lot of themselves over the years, and now they're seniors living in some of our housing sites. I think this is important for folks to know, right? That and Mr. Jordan has laid this out as a vision for us to be the premier housing entity in the state. We do more than housing.
That's right.
And a lot of what we do is a person-centered approach to helping folks transform their lives. So they have more choices, right? And to be an agency that's about choice is like what keeps it fun. I think, we hear the stories like the first caller, like the challenges that folks are facing with health issues and with work issues and all of those things. And we're about anti-poverty, right? It's like, how do you want to transform your life? Well, we're going to support that choice you're making, and you guys are busy over there in supportive services.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important that as the listeners hear what we're doing, be it you have a loved one who's a senior, someone who's a senior, that you understand that we're just not providing halls and walls. We're trying to improve quality of life. So.
Yeah, it's about community building. Like, one of the things that's been really important is that we're a good neighbor too. So we, as part of your customer service push, paying more attention to the way our properties look in a community. Like, we don't want to be the ugliest, dirtiest property in a neighborhood. So we want to be sure that we take care of that for the residents who live there and for the community that surrounds that, right? It's like, how do you build community in ways that are lasting?
Absolutely. The challenge to the team has consistently been, you drive down any street in our community and you cannot identify the building or buildings that we manage. Now, keep in mind, some of them are old. Some of them are, facing obsolescence. A lot of the great work we're doing over at Marble Manor, where we're knocking down 235, bringing back over 600. You can only put so much money in for so long.
Yeah.
But the reality of saying, while we're the Shermans and Villas, while we're trying to figure out a strategy, we promise this community they're going to be clean, they're going to be habitable, they're going to be safe, and we're going to continue to find ways to reimagine and redefine what affordable housing is.
Yeah. We got about 15 more minutes, so callers, if you're going to get that call in, 702-647-3688. Miss Rosa.
Yes.
What is the one takeaway? What is it that you wish the community knew about Section 8 or the Housing Choice Voucher Program that everybody doesn't know?
So what I want our listeners and our communities to know is that we're here to help, to support. Our occupational specialists they're available to them. Our call center is also available to answer any questions they might have. I also want them to know that we know the demand is greater than what we are able to offer, but we are not going to stop trying. Mr. Jordan, been trying to increase the number of vouchers that we have available in this community, and we're not going to stop trying.
That's right.
Yes, so I want them to know that we're here to work for them, and to support them.
Awesome.
And the support from the community continues to be needed.
Yes.
Case in point, and I guess we should have, I got a little tickle this morning in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
We should have mentioned when he called in to give us a shout out. But did you know that Lawrence Weekly is going to be our MC for the FSS graduation?
All right.
And he's a keynote at the celebration of aging.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so again.
Chair of EOB.
Yeah, and he chairs the EOB.
And he's the chair of EOB.
He's
so I mean
busy.
that speaks to the collaboration and partnership. And I've been fortunate to work in different places around this country, but coming in, I've never worked in a place like this where the accessibility, the mayors, the governor, our legislative body, people who, as we talked earlier about the big table that the coalition has made, this is a good place to get things done.
Yes.
And so again, just shout out, and people say, oh, well, he acts like there's no problem. We got problems.
We do have problems.
We have enough problems, but I can tell you this, we have solutions.
Yeah.
And together we can accomplish more than we can focusing on what we're not getting done.
I think the key thing is acknowledging the challenges and seeing them as opportunities to do it differently or do it better or do something totally new.
Right.
And I think that's what's been refreshing about your leadership is that we don't have to do it the way we did it 15 years ago, because that's the way we did it 15 years ago. We can ask a different kind of question now. And it's important that the community understands we see them as a partner in the same way that we see developers or landlords or our social service agencies, that the community is a partner in this process too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to, speaking of being partners, because if y'all want to call us directly, y'all can hit us up at 702-477-3100. That's the number folks are typically going to get messages to DeWanda over in eligibility through our call center, but they will connect you to wherever you need to be connected. And we need to do a whole show on connectivity, because getting connected is the thing that helps us start the transformation. All right, 702-477-3100. That's the number to the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, and you can hit us on our website at www.snvrha.org. All right, Miss DeWanda.
Yes.
Since we're talking about challenges and opportunities.
Yes.
Biggest challenge for eligibility, greatest opportunity for eligibility.
Biggest challenge, and it bothers me. It does, because I know people are on this waiting list for years. And what bothers me is when we're ready, we're at that stage. We're about to reach out. We want to select you. We want to get information, and then we can't get in contact. So when I say go to our website, get onto that portal, update your information. If you have issues, contact us so we can work you through it or walk you through it. Keeping your information updated, that is the key. And that is our challenge, because we have to weed through 100 people to get one. And it's unfortunate because, that one behind it we're still waiting. You're 102 and you're waiting for them to get through this 100 people. So please, if you keep your information updated, even if it's just to say, I no longer want to be on this list. I got housed 2 years ago at Ernie Cragen, so I don't need to be on Robert Gordon's list.
Right.
Update that information so it helps us be able to reach out and get more people sooner.
Yes.
Let me see, greatest
opportunity.
Greatest opportunity. I'm going right back to our portal that we now have. It's allowing us to do so much more with our applicants. It's allowing us to reach so many more people, and just to get everything that we have to offer with this organization, just to get that information out there. And we're in the business of housing.
Yes.
And I have a passion for housing. So I've been doing this almost 20 plus years. So I literally have a passion for housing.
You started when you was 5, didn't you?
Yeah.
Come on, cousin. Come on.
Come on, Faith. No, I swear it. I swear it. I started in housing back in Wisconsin, I don't know, 2000, I think, 2002. I don't know how long it was.
Yeah.
But I've been at it, so I literally have a passion for this. So, any department, I've worked in all departments, or any department I work in, it's just, I like to get to this point where we can say, hey, we're making you an offer. We have a unit for you.
Yeah.
And just to hear and see that, then that's all I need. But I do have one more takeaway I have to say.
Okay, say
the
it.
Celebration of aging, man, 30 is the new 80, or 80 is the new 30.
That's something.
Man, the seniors,
they know how to have fun.
Man, it's the party.
The party. I just got to put it out there. I get dressed. I'm getting my outfit together.
Yep. We plan our outfits. We do our makeup.
And you better come together, because the seniors don't play.
Staff looks forward to that.
They do not play.
They don't play.
They do not play. I love our seniors.
Be ready.
Yes. So Aldo, biggest challenge, biggest opportunity.
Challenge. Occasionally, we work with individuals who feel that they are at rock bottom and that there's absolutely nothing that can be done. They've joined our program in hopes that we can fix their problems, but we are working together to overcome those barriers. So I feel, you may have been out of a job for several years, but it's not done. I mean, there's still so much to do, and we are excited that you joined our program, and we're going to help you get to that next level. We're going to help you grow. We're going to help you become less dependent on anybody else, and you're going to succeed. So I feel that's the biggest one. In terms of the second part was?
Your opportunity. Biggest opportunity.
I'd like to grow our program.
Yeah.
And that's not up to us, unfortunately. It's up to HUD. They would give us 2 more roles, but then we would be able to serve a lot more individuals in both programs and pull from our interest list. That's the one.
Cool. Cousin Rosa.
Yes, Cousin Kathy.
Biggest challenge, greatest opportunity.
I think the biggest challenge is probably not having enough vouchers for everyone. And for
say that louder.
The population.
Snaps. Oh my goodness.
For the growing Nevada population, we don't have enough vouchers, and we're not going to stop trying to get more. And I think the opportunities, I also want people to know that don't give up. I mean, we are always working on different projects. We have, in the next couple years, 10 plus projects are coming up, and that means that there will be more than 600 vouchers for project-based vouchers. So just, hang in there. We are, we will have some more units coming up.
Awesome.
And I wanted to just echo, all of what was said, but particularly what Rosa said at the end. We need more vouchers.
Yes.
We also need the flexibility to work with our developer community, to work with our landlord community, to use those vouchers as well. The team will constantly tell me that we're at 98, 99% of our utilization, which is just outstanding. So if we got those additional vouchers today, we would also need flexibility. Whenever a developer or a team comes in and says they want to provide housing, we would love for them to stop by the housing authority and say, how can we add an affordable component to this process?
Yes.
How can we be a partner to you? We're going to have to do a show, hopefully in the near future, just about workforce. How many folks within our industry, be it gaming, education, some of the big employers here in town, how many of their employees have to drive excessive miles to get to work because there's no affordable housing near where they work?
Yeah.
And so, but again, having those additional vouchers, having the flexibility on how we use those vouchers, and having more folks at the table from the business community that can help us in the demand.
Yes.
That says, look, HUD, these guys, if you were to give Southern Nevada more vouchers, that would help my bottom line as an employer. That would help I often give the story of, Tina who shows up at work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
If Tina gets a call from school at 9:30 saying her child is sick, and Tina has to drive 40 miles to get home, the likelihood of her coming back to work that day is little or none.
Mm-hmm.
But if Tina was working in a community that was in close proximity to where she lives, she can take that break, take lunch, go home, find out if that kid is really sick or not, and then come on back to work.
Right.
But those are the kinds of collaborative things that we just need to keep building on. But I echo all that's been said. We need more, and we need the partnership and the flexibility on how we can use more.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, this is the whole building community conversation, and why we're also glad that you're partnering up and being on the Nevada Housing Coalition board, really,
Yes.
Because a lot of times in conversations we separate the human services part from the housing part, from homeless issues part, from workforce,
Right.
And all of those things are integrated. They impact each other. And so when we do it well, when we do it right, we are having conversations about workforce. We are having conversations about supportive services. We are having conversations about health care and everything that really touches people's lives, touches it all at the same time.
I like to call it the difference in providing a house and providing a home.
Right.
In that house, I got a bed, I got a roof over my head, and I'm fending on my own. But in a home, I have the support. I have, education. I have job, and we need to, and I'll say very carefully, we need to continue
Yes.
to build, because I said earlier, we do it. We do it in little pockets.
Right.
We need to continue to build on the momentum that we currently have today.
Hey, got a couple of minutes left. Aldo, can you share a little bit about the program coordinating committee? Because I know we got some folks who work in human services listening. What is that, and how do they get involved?
The Program Coordinating Committee, PCC, is a quarterly meeting that we hold with our community partners. 3 of them are on various topics, whether it be education, childcare, senior services, and the 4th one is a big meeting where we bring everyone together to network, get to know each other, get to know what we do as a department, and it happens quarterly. We just have it at different locations each time. Anybody can reach out to me that is in a community partner, and we can get them on the list to get invited.
Love it. Okay, for the cousins that's listening, what this is, the PCC is all the folks who come together to make a difference in folks' lives. So they could be nonprofits, they could be realtors, they could be anybody who wants to serve when I say our, I'm talking about the housing authorities, clients. But what I noticed at the annual meeting, where it was 50 something different organizations represented, that they began to connect with each other on other projects that weren't just our project. And so what the program coordinating committee ends up becoming is the venue, the vehicle through which collaboration gets strengthened. Yeah. So thank you on that. As always, Mr. Jordan, we're going to give you the last word. Now, you have 1 minute, sir. You never use your minute. You use 5, but they are telling me you got 1 minute left.
So in my 1 minute, and my last word, I'll say that I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be a part of this team and just so excited about the great things we're doing.
Oh, he did his 1 minute. All right. Hey, we want to thank everybody for joining us for this living room session. Come back. We here the second Monday of every single month at 10:30. And we appreciate KCEP 88.1, the People's Station, for having this people's conversation right here in the living room. Y'all come back now. You hear?